All right, pulling onto the highway in a 2011 Ford Raptor 5-star 93 tune. All right, what's up, guys? So, little update. Got all the updates done to the Raptor. Restored her a little bit. Just gonna go over a few things. Well, they just turned off, but got new headlights. Honestly, can't even remember the brand. It's a little windy. Can't even remember the brand, but they're Amazon. They're like 215 bucks, and I'm happy with them. Versus like 850 bucks for the, you know, the retro kits, which are just ridiculous. Got new headlights on it. Excuse me. Got new headlights on it. Got new wheels and tires. Went with some Nitto Ridge grapplers here on some fuels. I went with some gray. I wasn't going to buy new wheels, but the guy who owned the tire shop, I know him. He's like, man, why don't you buy the ones that I just took off my Raptor? And to be honest, if they were black, I wouldn't have bought them. But since they're gray, they kind of match some of the emblems and they match my company logo. So I think it looks pretty sharp. And the tires I had were shot. So I needed new tires. I wanted Ridge grapplers. Wasn't going to pay $2,000 for a set of tires. I ended up copping these. He wanted $1,500 for all four. They have 4,000 miles on them. I'm doing his epoxy floor in his garage in the spring, and I told him, hey man, I'll take $500 off. Take $500 off this. So got these for $1,000. I think it was a great snag. I went ahead and also put a whole new set of refurbished box shocks on there, front and rear. As you can see, nice and shiny. That made the world of difference. I was honestly kind of mad that I waited that long to do that. $700, $1,400. You send your stock ones back, they refund you $700. So you pay $700 for the four shocks. You get to set them up how you want them. I think I have mine on like the mid setting all the way through, or the B setting. I don't do any aggressive off-roading, and I didn't want it too soft for just on-road stuff, so I just went middle across the way. I love it. The front of the truck got raised a little bit just because the shocks were a little blown, but it's still sitting nice and not exactly level, but pretty close. And then you pay, I think, $150 aside to put the shocks on. All in all, about $1,200. Put the shocks on, definitely worth it. I also put on a new set of brakes, pads and rotors. As you can see, they are drilled rotors, front and rear. The brakes were shot on this thing, and honestly, that was like one of the scariest parts of this truck, is it wouldn't stop. It's so dang heavy. So I got new rotors and pads. Actually, those are slotted and drilled. So I think they're Stopping Power, I believe is the brand. A big Raptor aftermarket brand that everybody kind of tends to lean to. It's a nice, cost-effective kit, nothing too crazy, but I can definitely tell a huge difference over stock, which the stock was kind of burnt out anyway, so some of that is that, but I can definitely tell this is a much better performing kit. Come around the back, my third brake light was out, so I went ahead and put a new third brake light. Excuse my mess here. It's usually all nice and tidy, but it's kind of hauling ass on some dirt roads and it went everywhere. So third brake light, got it fixed. That thing was hideous. Got new tails, new tail lights. I ordered a new Ford emblem and it was the wrong dang size. I got one for the F-250, so it like took up this whole emblem. Still have to get a new one of those. I took the exhaust off to where it is just dumped. I don't know if you can see it right there. Dumped right over the axle. I've never been a fan of tailpipes, and I like the way dumps sound, so I went with that. And then there was also like some weird clanging noises that I didn't really know what it was, so we replaced a couple odds and end things. I know like my sway, which ones were they? My swaying links. Yeah, I think you can see they're new right there. Those were clicking. And then my sway bar bushings, I think they replaced. You can see the two new ones over there with the blue ends on it. But yeah, it overall completely different truck. I thought the four-wheel drive system was toast. I was gonna have them redo that. Oh no, that was almost bad. I was gonna have them fix the 4-wheel drive system, but he said it all works great. They run on vacuum lines on these trucks, and it just hadn't been used in a while, so it needed to be kind of broken back in, if you will. But yeah, everything's good. They fixed the door handle on the truck. Oh. They fixed the door handle on this truck, so now that thing's not broken, which is great. The only other thing that I want to address, I was going to do it, I just haven't had time to give the truck up again. I was going to wrap the hood the same gray as the wheels and my emblem on the back, because the hood has damage to it, like, you know, just fading damage. And it's nothing crazy, but it's just, I hate that. And it's only on the hood. So I was gonna wrap the hood gray, but then I started thinking, I don't know if that's gonna look right with these, because if I go this gray, it's gonna be like similar gray, because this is kind of like a weathered plastic, and it's also gonna match this. So, you know, I don't know where to really stop it, and I think if I do the hood gray, then this needs to be black, and that may need to be black, but then that just blends it in with everything. So I really don't know. That's why I kind of waited on this. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, if I should throw the gray wrap on the hood or not. I think it would look cool. I was gonna do a solid gray wrap with my TS logo right here on the hood. I think it would look pretty sharp. I just haven't done it yet. And then on the bumper, at the same time I was gonna get the hood wrapped, I was gonna get them to wrap the bumper black. I know it's not gonna look good wrapped versus painted, but this looks like complete garbage. So, and it's all dented up, and I don't really care. I just want it to not be as obvious, if that makes sense. I'm not taking this thing to a car show. I just hate that it looks like this from rock chips and hitting stuff. I'm not sure what the previous owner did to have so many rock chips, but anyway, I was also thinking about just masking off the top here and just painting this bumper, maybe from like, you probably need to do the whole thing at that point, but you know, maybe put a piece of tape and do the middle section of this bumper so it doesn't look as much of an eyesore. But anyway, we can hop in here and see how she rides. Overall, this truck has been great. I haven't had a single issue with it. You know, the shocks were blown and it was making some funky noises, but 2011, it just needed overhaul, if you will, on service. The shocks were pretty blown. But other than that, man, it's been a great truck. I also got the truck tuned by 5-Star on 93. So that's what it's currently on right now. And a lot of people will say, oh, tuning a naturally aspirated vehicle, it's not worth it. It's not worth the money. Well, I disagree, because I think it was like 400, pretty rough road. I think it was like $400 or something like that. And then I got it on sale with the promo code. It was like $330 with the SCT X4 handheld tuner that I can buy a mount and have gauges for too. I just don't care to really, I don't have anything I need to monitor that's not already up here. But it was like $320. And it added a little bit of power, but man, what made it the world of difference is like the throttle response and how the transmission shifts. So it holds the gears a little bit longer to where it doesn't lug it down as much, to where the truck just feels peppier already. And they did change it too. Like, I can feel, originally stock, it has a little bit of a dead pedal feel, and they do that for comfort. I understand why, but I don't like it. I always had my truck in tow haul mode right here, just so that the transmission would want to stay in a lower gear, and it would kind of wrap the RPMs out a little bit more to shift, even cruising. Like, even, you know, like right now, it's in 4th gear, when if it wasn't tuned, and it just shifted up, but if this wasn't tuned, it would be in 6th gear, barely cruising along. I know this looks kind of crazy. This road's pretty wild. But my point to that is, it makes the truck so much better, like the drivability of it, and the throttle response. Like, if I go even like, you know, 25% throttle normally on a stock truck, it would barely shift down. If I do 25% throttle on this thing, like right now, it wants to go. And it's not, you know, that was 25% throttle. So it kicks down and it goes. I like that. The throttle's a little bit more sensitive. I like that a lot. it missed that from the factory, I think. And the other big part with the tune is, you know, like I said before, you gain a little bit of power, but you get so much more usable power in that RPM band that makes the truck that much more enjoyable to drive. And so I do recommend people tuning it. I know a lot of people get those pedal commanders. You'd probably accomplish the same thing as far as your throttle response, like I was talking about, but you'd be missing out on probably, you know, 20 horsepower and probably 50-ish horsepower under the curve, because that's where you can really tell on this truck is, you know, whenever you're in it, it's just crispier, and then the shifts are better. It wraps out. Like before, it would kind of fall on its face around like 5,000 RPM, and then it would shift at like 5,500. So it would almost be better to short shift this truck, because it was shift and it started going again. And it was a pretty interesting road. They just graded this. Oh, almost dropped it. Making a little bit of mud here. But it, you know, in the higher RPMs, it knows when it wants to shift, if that makes sense. So it drives way better. But yeah, I mean, pretty much there's a little couple things that I want to do still that I need to address with the truck, just for random cosmetic things that are driving me nuts, like this air vent right here that's still missing. It honestly hasn't bothered me enough to order a $10 part. It's not really the fact of ordering it. I don't want to put it on. Those kind of things like that frustrate me. I have big hands, and so it's stuff like that I know is going to be irritating for me. So yeah, just kind of general overview of it. We're pulling up to a job site right now, and just want to give you guys an update on the Raptor. Kind of brought some life back to it, and super pleased with the outcome of it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments of it. If you guys want to see a video of anything, or me to explain any more of the process of maybe the tuning or however that works, just let me know. I'd love to do a video for you guys.